Good afternoon and welcome to Fishburne Military School, your 2017-2018 First Formation Organizational Day. We invite all of our guests to join us in the Hobby Hudgens Hall Library for refreshments at the conclusion of the ceremony. The purpose of this afternoon's ceremony is to recognize the selection of new cadet chain of command and to officially organize the Fishburne Military School JROTC Battalion and Corps of Cadets. However, before we proceed, I would like to thank our guests for taking time out of their busy schedules to be with us for today's ceremonies. Thank you. The official party for today's ceremony consists of our Superintendent, Captain Mark Black, United States Navy, retired. Delegate Steve Landis, 25th District in the Virginia House of Delegates. Assistant Superintendent and Cadet Advocate, Mrs. Susan Johnson. Our Headmaster, Major Chip Hill. Our Commandant, Lieutenant Colonel Alec Gunn. And our guest chaplain for today is Dr. Will Kopp, pastor of Stewart's Draft Baptist Church. And also with us is our Athletic Director and Assistant Headmaster, Major Brian Green. Corps of Cadets. Attention! Headquarters, Corps of Cadets, Fishburne Military School, General Order Number 1, dated August 30th, 2017, Waynesboro, Virginia. The following temporary appointments of cadet officers and non-commissioned officers of the Corps of Cadets, effective August 30th, 2017, are to be obeyed and respected accordingly. Battalion Commander, Philip Griffin. To be Cadet Captain Michael Massoni, and I will pin him. And then to be Cadet Sergeant Major Hunyan Hu, and the Commandant will pin the Sergeant Major. Cadet First Henry, Alpha Company Commander, Ilian Gonzalez. These will be pinned by the Battalion Commander. Commander Bravo Company, Tamir Nzedu. Be Charlie Company Commander, Ryan Mobachuk. And to be Band Company Commander, William Malvin. Now for the coordinating and primary staff. These will be penned by the newly appointed Captain Masoni, Battalion Executive Officer. S1 Adjutant, Second Lieutenant Connor Green. S2 Security Officer, Second Lieutenant Robert Palermo. The S3 Operations and Training Officer, Second Lieutenant Matthew Ferrari. The S4 Logistics Officer, Second Lieutenant Sam Wingstrom. The S5, the Public Affairs Officer, Second Lieutenant Timothy Batoni. Next, the company commanders will pin their executive officers. For Alpha Company, executive officer is Second Lieutenant Jason Brunius. Bravo Company XO, Second Lieutenant Austin Lee. Charlie Company XO, Second Lieutenant Derek Prestons. Band XO, Second Lieutenant Justin Payne. Company commanders will follow by pinning their platoon leaders. For Alpha Company, platoon leader is Second Lieutenant Tyler Dolan. Bravo Company Second Lieutenant is Nicholas Brofman. Second Lieutenant Nicholas Brofman. Charlie Company platoon leader At this time, all leaders will be administered the oath of office by the superintendent.
I state your name.
I
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the regulations, faculty, and staff
the regulations, faculty, and staff
of Fishburne Military School,
of Fishburne Military School,
that I will not lie, cheat, or steal,
that I will not lie, cheat, or steal,
nor tolerate those who do,
nor tolerate those who do,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well
and that I will well
and faithfully
and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
affiliated with these orders.
affiliated with these orders.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Round of applause.
The Corps cadets will fall under their chain of command at this time. Adjutant.
Detail, all in your respective companies.
God, creator of heaven and earth, Lord of hosts, I ask that you would come and fill this place, that you would touch those here assembled. And Father God, for the staff and administration, the instructors of this fine school, that Lord God, you would keep before them the mission of this school, that you would fill them with zeal and wisdom as they seek to forge a new generation of men. Father, for the leaders that have been just set aside, I ask that you would set before them your face, that they might lead in honor and integrity. Father, for this corps of cadets, I pray that they might so pursue righteousness, that, Lord God, each and every one of them would rise up to become a man of renown. For such we need times as this. Lord God, we thank you for your love. We thank you for your presence. We constantly seek your grace and your mercy. Come touch us this day and let us know of your presence in Christ. Through his name we pray.
At this time, the superintendent will pass the sword to our new battalion commander. The traditional passing of the colors is an ancient tradition signifying the past responsibility to the new commander of the Corps of Cadets. The color guard will now move forward to accept the organizational covenant.
Colors carry. Colors. Colors present. Colors. Colors order. Colors. Reverse arms.
Cadet Battalion Commander will now present the company guidons to the newly appointed company commanders. Company commanders will come forward. Alpha Company Commander, Cadet First Lieutenant Elian Gonzalez from Arlington, Virginia. Bravo Company Commander, Cadet First Lieutenant Shimi Nzedu from Lorton, Virginia. Charlie Company Commander, Cadet First Lieutenant Ryan Mobachai from Woodbridge, Virginia. And our Band Company Commander, Cadet First Lieutenant William Jackson Malvin from Waban, Massachusetts.
First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody that's here today. I appreciate your attendance. I'd like to welcome Delegate Landis. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for our trustees that are in the audience and also our honored guests. This is a very special occasion. Last year, I can tell you when I stood in this position, I really did not know what I was getting into, to be frank with you. And this year, I take this obligation freely and look forward to it. The thing I'll tell you is this is a new beginning. If you look at this Corps, it is younger than it was last year. It's smaller than it was last year, but it is going to form the nucleus of something that is going to become very powerful. The other piece of this is you just saw the leaders that we brought up here. I will tell you, these gentlemen really have embraced, essentially this is the culmination of a competition that has occurred over the course of the last 3 to 4 days. I have to raise this thing up a little bit. There you go. It's a culmination of a competition that occurred while they were here to see who was going to have the privilege of leading this Corps. And this is the resultant selections of that process. So please take this responsibility very seriously. It is a great privilege and it is a huge responsibility. I think every person in this Corps needs to be commended, and I think it's important for all of us out here to recognize that. You've accepted challenges that most of your peers could not even contemplate. So each and every one of you should be proud that you are standing here right now, and every one of you should be looking forward to what you're going to be accomplishing in the next year. I can tell you in my position, I stand here extremely excited of what this group, this Corps of Cadets, will accomplish over the course of the next year. It is important for us to differentiate and distinguish what it is we do here. We are in the world not just of education, which is important, but we are in leadership. That's what today's ceremony is about, is to recognize those leaders who have been elected based off their performance up to this point in time to lead this Corps. and is probably one of the greatest things that we need in our society, or essentially the world at large. And we are going to concentrate on that this year, both faculty, staff, and cadets. And we are going to work together to ensure that we actually produce what it is that we say that we honor, and that is going to be the leading of people amongst us. The other focus of this year is going to be this: a condensation of Professor Fishburne's original objective, and that is we will educate, honor, educate young men of courage. It's important for us to break that down to make sure all of us are on the same page. First of all, educated, it is the task of the faculty and the staff to ensure that we are scholastically preparing these young men to go out into the world and do great things. Second, honor. Frankly, I don't care how much you know until I know how much you care about doing the right thing. If I have to take a choice between having someone honorable or someone smart, I would much rather have someone honorable. That is the essence of who you are. That is the principles of which you uphold. It is essentially what you are. Finally is courage. And to be frank with you, courage is the fortitude to act upon your intellect and your honor and to do the right thing when you know it's the right thing. Many people say courage is being able to do the right thing when nobody's watching. I would disagree with that based off what we see in our world today. Doing the right thing when everybody's watching is where it is most, in most cases, the most courageous act. Finally, the thing I will tell you about is realize this is a static point in history. All of you that have been elected leaders right now, that is what you've achieved up to this point in time. But you have to earn that right on a daily basis. By the same token, we as the faculty and staff have to emulate what it is we expect to produce out of you. We have to be intelligent, we have to be honorable, and we have to have the courage to instruct you in a manner in which we guide you in the right direction. Iron sharpens iron, and we need to hold all of us accountable to each other and to the principles of which this school is founded upon. The last thing I will tell you all is, as much as I hate to pay homage to the Oakland Raiders, they have a great saying of commitment to excellence. You have to. I've mentioned this to the leaders, I've mentioned this to the faculty, but I will tell you right now, it is vitally important that each of you make a personal commitment to this being a great year, and then hold yourselves, both individually and collectively, responsible and accountable to that statement. We need to take ownership of this school, ownership of your lives, and ownership of our destiny. Let's have a great year. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I now present our new battalion commander who will address the Corps.
I would just like to say thank you to all the faculty and cadets that have supported me and all of us. Thank you. And I only have one thing to say, and that is we're going to do the best we can this year. That's all.
This time, we'll have a special presentation, but Delegate Steve Landis will be honoring Mr. J.B. Young and his service to Fishburne Military School.
Gentlemen, members of the Board of Trustees, Captain, your Superintendent, members of the Corps, it's my honor today to be here to present a memorial resolution that was adopted by the Virginia General Assembly honoring one of your former students, a former active member of the Board of Trustees, and a great friend of Fishburne. And it's very fitting and appropriate that this presentation be made here on this day when you're recognizing your new leaders of the Corps. And here's the resolution. I would like to read it. It's House Joint Resolution 814, celebrating the life of Joseph Byron Young III. It was agreed to by the House of Delegates January 27th of this year and agreed to by the Virginia Senate February 2nd of this year. And it reads, whereas Joseph Byron Young III, the former city attorney and mayor of the city of Waynesboro, who enriched the lives of others as an author, historian, and a community activist, died on October 2nd, 2016. And whereas a native of Charlottesville, Joseph Byron J.B. Young III graduated from Fishburne Military School and earned an undergraduate and law degree from the University of Virginia. He proudly served the nation as a member of the United States Army before settling in Waynesboro to practice law. And whereas desirous to be of further service to his fellow community members, J.B. Young ran for and was elected to the Waynesboro City Council, serving from 1967 to 1972, including a term as the city's second youngest mayor from 1970 to 1972. Whereas, in addition, an estate planning attorney with Edmonds, Willits, Yunt, and Hicks, and later representing the Crompton Company, J.B. Yunt served as city attorney of Waynesboro from 1980 to 2006, including 12 years as city planner. Whereas a past president of the Augusta County Historical Society, J.B. Yunt produced severely widely read books and biographies and produced a series on the history of the Presbyterian Church in Waynesboro. He possessed an extensive art collection and regularly attended meetings of the International Byron Society. Whereas J.B. Yunt was a devoted alumnus of Fishburne Military School throughout his life, serving as a longtime board member and a 20-year president of the Fishburne-Hodgins Educational Foundation, which oversees the school. And whereas J.B. Young also worked to strengthen and enhance the community as a member of many civic and service organizations, including the Waynesboro NAACP, and was named a Paul Harris Fellow for his distinguished service to Rotary International. And whereas a man who lived his faith through his actions, J.B. Young enjoyed fellowship and worship with the community as a devoted member of First Presbyterian Church, where he served as an elder. And whereas J.B. Young will fondly be remembered and greatly missed by numerous family members, friends, and colleagues, now therefore be it resolved by the House of Delegates and the Senate concurring that the General Assembly hereby note with great sadness the loss of Joseph Byron Young III, a public servant and community leader in the city of Waynesboro. And be it further resolved that the clerk of the House of Delegates prepare a copy of this resolution for presentation to the staff and cadets of Fishburne Military School as an expression of the General Assembly's respect for the memory of Joseph Byron Young III. It was patroned by myself, Delegate Dickie Bell, and Senator Emmett Hanger, and signed by our clerk of the House of Delegates, Chief Paul Nardo. Gentlemen, it's my honor to be here today to recognize J.B. Young, who was, as I mentioned, an alumnus and more importantly, an active participant, not only while he was a cadet here, but long after he left this school to participate on the Board of Trustees. It's also, I think, fitting to honor him today because you were his family. And this school meant a great deal to him, not only personally, but each and every class and every graduating class. He was very fond of the young men that were a product of this institution. So it's more than fitting that we present this to this school. And I would like to, with your superintendent's permission, to present this to him and your battalion commander on behalf of the cadet corps. On behalf of the members of the General Assembly and the local delegations, it's my honor and privilege to adopt this resolution. Joseph Byron Young, former Board of Trustees, president of the cadet. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony. We would like to invite all of our guests to join us in Hobby Hudgens Hall in the library for refreshments. I want to thank you. Battalion Commander, you can dismiss the battalion.
Battalion of and of. I break it out.